Hey everyone, Lauren here, and we're going to get some mixed media happening. So using the watercolours that we got in the kit, I've just sprayed some water on and I'm just using the water brush to pick up some colour and squirt a little bit of colour as I'm pushing on those lines. And then I've been a little bit lazy and cheeky and letting it drip down as well. Obviously, it's probably not ever a genuine technique, but it works really well. You can see the colour gets on nicely, and I'm just using the 3 tones of blue. So I've gone to get a bit of plastic packaging and I'm holding both ends and making a curved edge so that I can pat it down and move it across and get some of the colour moving around, and that way it goes all over my page where I want it. I'm not going edge to edge, but I'm doing enough. I have dried it and then I've come back in and I'm doing some little ink splatters just by using the darker of the blue colours. Actually, it's the medium blue colour. Just cleaning out my little the little water brush that we get in the collection in that little watercolour palette. It's such a good, I can't believe Steph got us that in our mixed media kit. It's pretty awesome. So now I'm just looking at the papers, and this is a stage where I'm thinking I'm just going to go with the monochromatic colour tone and just have the blue and the white. And I'm trying to work out if I want to have a pattern paper in the background and what other patterns maybe I could use for some layering. Now, I love this pattern, but I also love the rainbow in the background, and I to and fro, but then I do decide I'll gut it out and I just use the the paper cutter to gut the middle out and use that square. And look, I got enough of the rainbow that I could probably fussy cut that part of the rainbow and use it. So I'm just cutting down now the paper so that it doesn't overlap the pattern paper and then is therefore useless. Fighting with my cutter because why not? And just a little bit, like 1/2 inch on each side, I think I take. Just enough so that you can see enough of the pattern, and then I'm going to use the paper edger to rough up the edges, and then I also do some like rips because I'm being so vigorous, but I also like that look on it. And 2 of the sides have got rips naturally from this machine or this tool, and then 2 don't, so then I I do actually rip the other edges. They did rip a lot, so I'm making sure that they are covered so that they don't come apart from where the tape is on the pattern paper, or even that they're not covered by pattern paper. Now I'm going to put my double-sided tape here, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I learnt by, I can't even remember what I was watching. So I pull one edge off entirely, and then the other edge I just fold up one end each, and this way you can position it and you can see the little tabs are sticking out that you've folded over, and you can just pull it and push down that edge. That way, if you've got all 4 sticky edges, well, for me anyway, I find that it sticks down and I'm like, no, that's not where I wanted it to go, and am having all sorts of trouble. But that makes it a little bit easier. Anyway, I've got 3 screenshots of cold, and I decide that's what I'm using. So then I'm going with the cold theme, and I'm using the oil pastels that I pulled out in my mixed media stash kit, and I have just put in some little snowflakes, just lines, aka snowflakes, and putting them all over the page, doing a different random sizes, trying to have them here, there and everywhere. I know they're not super in your face, but it's a nice little subtle touch that I like. And then I come in with some other colours of the oil pastels. So I've got a dry brush here, and I'm just the oil crayon that I've put on my little card there, I'm just putting it straight on the paper using the dry brush. So it's sort of like the stencil brush that Vicky Boudin uses, but I'm just using a cheap little brush. This is literally the cheapest brushes I've got. I brought them for kids ages ago, and it never made it to them, so instead I put it in my stash and I just decided this would be a good idea, and so I've just used the darker blue now, and some you can see I'm just doing some circular motions and then some line-ish kind of rubbing it on. It's just adding an extra bit of colour and layer and dimension to the mixed media going on. So the third shade of the blue that I've got in the oil crayons or the art crayons, and this one wasn't really going on, so I added a little bit of water and that made it just spread out a little bit easier, and you can see it going on to the page very nicely. So just cleaning that up nice and simple, just a baby wipe to get that off. And I go back to my watercolours. I'm just using my spray bottle to fill up my water brush, and I'm going to put some colour on with some of the black watercolour. Again with the ink splatters. Because I had the watercolours there, it's obviously really helpful, but they are really nice pigments, so you don't need to get out your spray mist. I pull out my big paint pen, and I was going to do another different design. You can see I've done the dashes, but instead I go in with some snowflakes. That way they've got some darker snowflakes with the white and then the lighter ones that I've used with the oil pastel. And I've cleaned up that paint pen that I put on my edge, tidied up a little, and I'm going to just use my baby wipe to pull off. I was going to rub it in so that the white just blended in, but it came off really easily, I guess because there's so many layers. And more snowflakes, and this time using a light blue oil pastel or art crayon. They're all in together in my little stash, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And if you've been with Kitaholic Kits for a while now, you would have your own little stash of art crayons and oil pastels, because we've had them in quite a few mixed media kits over the months. So definitely why it's really cool to get the mixed media kit to build up your mixed media stash and use some different things in different ways. So just trimming down these little screenshots. You can see it was minus 8.2 one morning here in Canberra. This was I'm doing the 2018 album because I haven't started 2019, nor have I started 2020 other than some random photos that I've printed because I really like that event or whatever. So nearly finished, and then I'll be able to move on. But anyway, I digress. So I'm just going to use these 3 screenshots and use some layering. And I'm looking for that kind of crazy distress look because I've already got that messy mixed media. It's kind of messy but purposeful at the same time. And then I've got distressed edges of the cardstock. It's nice to rip the paper. And when you're ripping, if you rip up the side to the right, like if you use your right hand to rip up, then the paper on your left, if that's what you're going to use, will end up with that white edge, jagged edge. If you don't want the white jagged edge, then rip it up the other way. So just using these stickers, and I love these stickers. I love the colour of them. I love that there's a lowercase and uppercase, and I really think I might need like 10 packets. But I'm going to hold myself back. I'm just going to use them and not hoard them. Anyway, so I'm spelling out my title. I've got it on some plastic just so that I can have a little play with positioning. I've got nothing stuck down yet and just going with the flow and trying to work out where the direction of my layout's going to go. So I wonder if I want a doily, one part top and one part at the bottom, but then I decide I'm going to put both halves of my doily up the top and add a little bit of layering happening up there, which is really nice. And then I received this little ephemera bag that we got with the sequins in it and put that there as a layering piece. Now I've cut out this tag that came in the printables, so make sure you are printing your printables and using them as you go along. It's always a good thing to have. And I've glued all that stuff down, all the ephemera and doily and photos, and stuck down my title. You didn't have to watch that boring job. I didn't move anything, so that was good this time. I was going to make one of these bows, and I use my stapler, and I love how easy it is and how cool it looks with the staple in the middle. I don't know why I didn't think of them last time when we had the fabric bows in a kit, but I'm so glad I thought of it now, and hopefully it helps you guys to feel the ease of it, but also the look of it with that cool. I love the look of staples. It's one of those things that it's just so funny. Anyway, as I'm holding it down to just let the glue dry to the paper, I'm using some labels to layer up on the side here and have another little cluster going on. So I've got that tag on the left and that heart that's got the picture of the home, because definitely this day we wanted to stay home, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. We would have just gone to school and work. It wouldn't have been anything exciting as such, but I do remember it being super cold. It's not normally -8, but it does get to like -5 and things like that. So that's how it goes. In that screenshot, the tap is actually obviously has been dripping, and as it gets cold during the night, the water freezes in the tap and you've got the icicle hanging down. So I've cut out some circle labels, and I'm going to add this sticker label, this sticker here, this circle one, and I cover up a small label because obviously I hadn't planned that out. I'm just going to have a look. I've got that little ephemera piece there to the left, and I've got all these little puffy stickers that I pulled out and put in from my stash as well. So check out my unboxing video to find out why I've got all these extra stash goodies. And so I'm just using them up, get a star on, and some of those puffy words. Both are from, actually all those puffy stickers are from previous Kitaholic kits. And I've got these 2 items that I pulled out of my stash as well, which I didn't pull anything for this layout. And I put a couple of more stickers on because you can't have enough, and I'm really liking how layered up and all the things, the more you look at the layout, the more you can see in terms of spots of difference. And I'm just loving that look that's going on. I'm loving the mixed media in the background. I'm just very thrilled this month to discover this mixed media craze of layer upon layer that I used to do quite a bit, and I do love, and will hopefully, especially if you guys are enjoying it, continue to do so. So just adding some of these banners that I've gotten from a planner sticker company, had in my stash. I did try planner kind of prettiness, but I'm not even good at normal planner, let alone making it all pretty. So that went out the window, and so using up the stickers, I figured these would probably be good, seeing as they're just solid colours. Now I'm going to add this little label that I've just quickly cut out. It's very easy to cut those printables. I'm just going to layer it under here so you can still see all that ripped edge of the paper, but then there's room for some quick journaling. And I use a blue ballpoint pen just to add some journaling. Black wasn't going to work at all. Oh, I guess I got black in some of those tiny word stickers and some of the writing in the paper, but I didn't feel like black was going to be right. So add on that geotag sticker. I never use them, so it's so good that I could actually get one on the page. And then I'm adding some of the enamel dots, and there's a red heart that's fallen out, and I'm going to pick it up soon and move it out of the way because it'd be a bit crazy to add just one random red heart on this layout. So that was just an accident that fell out when I picked up everything. But anyway, I'm just going to add on a few more enamel dots, and then we're going to go into the close-ups, meaning that I finish this layout and hopefully you feel inspired and get some ideas to create for yourself. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Enjoy, and I'll see you next video. Bye.